The financial crises of the 1970s brought unforgettable dinners, simple, hearty, yet nutritious and full of love. Creamy tuna noodle casserole, pork neck bones with rice, or simply hot water cornbread. Each dish is a slice of memory, bringing back days we could never forget. Let's go back in time to discover 25 dishes that were once the heart of family meals, now only existing in memory. Which dish do you wish would return the most? Beef stroganoff. If there's one dish that truly encapsulates the spirit of home dinner parties in the 1970s, it's definitely beef stroganoff. Tender cuts of beef immersed in a rich, creamy sour cream sauce, often served with egg noodles. Although originating from Russia in the 19th century, beef stroganoff found a firm foothold and became extremely popular in the United States after the post-war period. By the 1970s, this dish had undergone interesting variations to better suit the tastes and convenience of home cooks. Mushrooms and onions were skillfully added, and notably, many homemakers used canned cream of mushroom soup as a convenient shortcut to create a smooth, creamy flavor without too much effort. The value of beef stroganoff lay not only in its elegant appearance or rich flavor, but also in its magical ability, transforming affordable cuts of beef into a special, luxurious dish, perfectly suited to the economic challenges many families faced in the 70s. Today, due to the general desire to cut down on fatty, creamy sauce components, this dish is no longer as popular, but the timeless appeal of beef stroganoff in American cuisine remains undeniable. Chicken a la king. Chicken a la king is a vivid testament to American culinary creativity from the early 20th century. This dish is a perfect combination of diced chicken in a rich, creamy sauce, along with mushrooms, vibrant pimentos, and sometimes fresh green peas. By the 1970s, chicken a la king had become a familiar savior to utilize leftover chicken after a meal. It was often served simply yet appealingly on toast, hot rice, or in crispy puff pastry shells. What made chicken a la king particularly appealing was the clever combination of convenient canned ingredients, allowing home cooks to easily prepare a dish that felt special without being overly elaborate or time-consuming. In the 1970s, as more women entered the workforce, dishes like chicken a la king became a lifesaver for busy mothers, helping them create memorable meals for their families, even with limited time and budget. Today, the diversity and competition from other chicken dishes, such as fried chicken, which is very popular in many places, have also changed dining preferences, making classic dishes like chicken a la king less chosen. Swedish meatballs. Swedish meatballs, a small but charming dish, representing the spreading wave of international culinary exploration across middle-class families. Tender ground beef and pork meatballs, seasoned with nutmeg and allspice, covered in a rich cream sauce, often served with lingonberry jam. Not only delicious, but also bringing a touch of Nordic flair to the American dinner table. Do you remember memories of these meatballs presented in electric chafing dishes at gatherings, or simply a cozy family meal served with egg noodles? Their allure was linked to a time when foreign travel became more accessible, and companies like Stouffer's and Swanson introduced Swedish meatballs to their frozen menus, helping solidify this dish in America's collective culinary memory. Home cooks proudly even had their own secret ingredients, perhaps a bit of Worcestershire sauce or a specific ratio of beef to pork. This personalization helped the dish become a bridge between exotic cuisine and family tradition, something international, yet familiar and comforting in the memories of an entire generation. Do you have a secret recipe for these Swedish meatballs? Feel free to share it in the comments below. Macaroni with butter and salt. In the list of simple yet comforting dishes, a hot plate of macaroni with butter and salt surely tops the list. For many working and middle-class families in the 1970s, every dollar saved was dedicated to essential necessities like property. When both parents worked hard yet struggled to cover daily expenses, spending on elaborate meals was unimaginable. While many might choose beans on toast to save money, macaroni with butter and salt stood out as the perfect comfort food. It was not only chewy and easy to eat, but also incredibly simple to prepare, requiring almost no effort. Even a child could butter and salt a hot plate of macaroni by themselves. This dish wasn't just a simple dinner. It was a small luxury that helped people relax after a long day, perhaps while watching TV and preparing for the next shift. It symbolized simplicity, convenience, and was an invaluable source of comfort during the challenging economic times of the 70s. Fondue? In the 1970s, fondue parties became a real craze, turning the communal pot of melted cheese into the centerpiece of every social gathering. This unique Swiss dish conquered American families during that decade, to the extent that many newlyweds even received fondue sets as wedding gifts. The traditional preparation involved melting Gruyere and Emmental cheeses with white wine, garlic, and a touch of Kirsch. Diners would use long forks to skewer pieces of crispy bread and dip them into the bubbling cheese mixture, creating a delicious and interactive dining experience. In addition to cheese fondue, variations like chocolate fondue and oil fondue also quickly became popular, expanding options for gatherings. More than just a dish, fondue represented a lifestyle where people gathered, shared, and enjoyed European flavors right at home. However, as Americans began to pay more attention to health, low-fat diets, and proper nutrition, fondue, known for its rich, high-calorie cheese, gradually lost its status. From a trendy symbol, fondue became more of a nostalgic dish than a popular choice today. Quiche Lorraine. Quiche Lorraine became a symbol of culinary sophistication in American cuisine during the 1970s. This classic French savory pie features a crisp, flaky crust encompassing a filling of eggs, cream, bacon, and Swiss cheese, blending into an unforgettable sensation with every bite. What made Quiche Lorraine particularly appealing was its versatility and relatively simple preparation, despite its elegant French name. This dish became an indispensable part not only of dinner parties, but also of the emerging trend of weekend brunches, where friends often gathered to enjoy mimosa cocktails and slices of quiche, accompanied by a simple green salad. However, in its widespread popularization, quiche in America was often overly modified, becoming a heavy dish, resembling a casserole with many ingredients thrown in whatever was in the fridge. The diversity and changing tastes mean quiche is no longer considered a common everyday meal. Many Americans now prioritize faster, more convenient, and healthier options. Country Captain. Country Captain is a unique dish originating directly from the heart of the American South in the 1970s, specifically from the historic cities of Savannah and Charleston. In an era when culinary concepts from the subcontinent were not yet a part of daily life, Country Captain swept through the South and spread nationwide like a storm, opening the door to fresh flavors. This tomato-based curry sauce proved one thing: making curry didn't have to be a laborious task, but could instead be an incredibly delicious and easy dinner. The advent of canned tomatoes truly helped this dish significantly. All it needed were warm spices, onions, bell peppers, a touch of curry powder, and canned tomatoes taking center stage, creating a rich, unforgettable flavor. Although it has since been surpassed by countless modern curries, Country Captain remains a name that brings joy and evokes memories of the good old days for many. Salisbury Steak. Salisbury steak was a quintessential 1970s family dinner, featuring ground beef patties smothered in a rich brown gravy with mushrooms and onions. Although the name sounds fancy, this dish was actually an economical meal, effectively stretching the amount of ground beef to feed the whole family. Created by Dr. J.H. Salisbury in the late 19th century as part of a meat-focused diet, by the 1970s, it had become a staple in TV dinners and home-cooked meals. This dish was often accompanied by creamy mashed potatoes and vibrant green peas, forming a complete and comforting meal, representing America's meat and potatoes dining tradition. The 1970s saw Salisbury steak evolve from its basic origins to include various regional variations. Southern versions often added a touch of bell pepper to the gravy for extra flavor, while Midwestern variations might incorporate a small amount of oatmeal into the patties for added tenderness. The practicality of the dish extended beyond its economical ingredients. It was also considered an ideal meal for novice cooks, frequently appearing in early cookbook collections. Stuffed bell peppers. Stuffed bell peppers were a staple dinner in the 1970s, with colorful bell peppers stuffed with a mixture of ground beef, rice, tomato sauce, and cheese. This economical and visually appealing dish allowed home cooks to stretch ground beef while still creating a meal that looked incredibly impressive and beautiful. In the 1970s, variations of this dish emerged, incorporating convenient products like instant rice and canned tomato soup, making preparation faster and easier. These stuffed peppers frequently appeared in women's magazines of the time as an efficient way to add vegetables to family meals in a format even picky eaters would enjoy. Today, people have the highest demand for convenience and speed, so stuffed bell peppers, with their slightly elaborate preparation, are no longer as popular, but they can still be found and enjoyed in many places, mainly as family meals, traditional dishes, or in specialty restaurants. Tripe. Tripe, also known as the edible lining of a cow's stomach, is one of those ingredients that many might find surprising to consider. However, in many cultures, tripe is a beloved delicacy, often prepared in soups and stews. It was considered one of the poor man's dishes. In the past, tripe was an inexpensive but effective way to add protein to meals, especially during hard times. This dish not only speaks to the use of the cheapest available ingredients, it also demonstrates resourcefulness and respect for the whole animal, transforming what others might discard into nutritious and filling meals. Tripe has a unique texture, both chewy and tender, and notably, it absorbs flavors very well. Admittedly, tripe is a type of dish that takes time to get used to, both in taste and texture. Although tripe is currently more likely to be found in ethnic cuisines than on the average American dinner table, it still maintains a loyal following among classic recipe enthusiasts who still cherish its value and historical significance. If you love this topic, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and continue exploring more trips down memory lane with us. Potato pancakes. During the difficult days of the 20th century, when financial instability, lower wages, and escalating costs were daily challenges, potato pancakes emerged as a true godsend. Potatoes, once only seen as a starchy side for curly fries and vanilla milkshakes, revealed their hidden versatility as the sole weapon in times of hardship. In the 1970s, potatoes were not only cheap to buy, they were often grown for free, offering an incredibly practical solution when every penny was carefully counted. Potato pancakes were not just a delicious alternative, they were also a clever response to growing difficulties, providing a filling, warm, and economical meal. Do you remember the aroma of freshly fried potato pancakes? Crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, bringing instant comfort? It was a taste of resilience and gratitude in difficult times. Egg drop soup. Egg drop soup is a dish we are so familiar with today, seemingly indispensable in any bustling Chinatown. Egg drop soup is prepared with broth, subtly seasoned with soy sauce, white pepper, and sesame oil, along with artfully added strands of beaten egg, creating a beautiful visual. This soup is often thickened to make the perfect warming dish for winter. The best part is that it's quick, economical, and incredibly satisfying. It's a dish that can lift your spirits in just 5 minutes and at very little cost. Egg drop soup is recognized as a highlight of Chinese American culture, and it paved the way for a mainstream appreciation of Asian cuisine that would continue into the 1980s and beyond. Hog Maw. Hog Maw, essentially the stomach of a pig stuffed with ingredients. When you think of luxurious dishes, pig stomach is probably the last thing that comes to mind. But in the 1960s and 1970s, when wallets were tight, people were forced to make do with whatever they could find to sustain life. This dish appears in American soul food cuisine, as well as in Chinese, Mexican, Portuguese, Italian, and Vietnamese dishes. Hog Maw was especially popular in rural Pennsylvania, where nothing was wasted, demonstrating the utilize everything spirit. It might sound a bit like a culinary challenge, but it was actually a clever way to make use of ingredients and create a filling meal for the whole family. This dish is like the ultimate meatloaf version, but with an organ meat casing carrying a nostalgic charm of a forgotten dish. Have you ever wondered how cleverly our ancestors transformed seemingly discarded parts into nutritious and meaningful meals? Oysters Rockefeller. Oysters Rockefeller is a classy dish, frequently gracing elegant gatherings. This appetizer consists of plump oysters on the half shell, topped with a rich butter mixture of minced herbs and breadcrumbs. They are then baked or broiled until golden, creating an appealing appearance and irresistible flavor. Interestingly, the exact recipe for this dish remains a closely guarded secret. Typically, Oysters Rockefeller include spinach, celery, and sometimes an anise-flavored liqueur, creating a luxurious and complex topping. The oysters are lightly parboiled in their shells to retain moisture, then topped with this seasoned mixture and broiled to perfection. The dish creates an interesting contrast in textures between the soft, creamy oyster and the crispy, flavorful topping. Especially popular in high-end restaurants during the 1970s, Oysters Rockefeller represented the era's love for lavish continental cuisine. This dish often played a starring role in dramatic dining experiences with tableside service, where the final assembly and saucing were spectacularly performed right in front of diners. Fried chicken livers. The 1970s, with its financial crises, saw fried chicken livers as an inexpensive and effective way to supplement protein during this difficult period. This dish was particularly popular in rural America, where offal meats were once daily fare before gradually falling out of favor in the mid-20th century. However, fried chicken livers have stood the test of time and remain a memorable culinary memory from the days of classic recipes. The versatility of chicken livers was key to their popularity. Whether seasoned with basic spices or a complex blend, marinated, breaded, and deep-fried, boiled, roasted, or grilled, the preparation methods were endless. Many home cooks even had regional tips, such as soaking livers in milk or brine to mellow their strong iron-rich flavor. Ultimately, the appeal of this dish was simple: an inexpensive, easy-to-make dish that was both delicious and memorable. Do you still remember the distinctive taste and comforting feeling of enjoying crispy fried chicken livers in a simple family meal? Hot water cornbread. Hot water cornbread is a Southern classic that gained true popularity in communities during the 1970s. Making this dish is incredibly simple. You just need to mix cornmeal with plenty of hot water, then simmer with a pinch of salt to create a very thick and firm batter. Adding brown or white sugar would further enhance the flavor. The batter is then shaped into round, flat cakes, often just the size of a pancake. These cakes are fried in hot oil or lard, often to add rich flavor, and then served as a snack or side dish. Hot water. Cornbread was often served with greens like collards or with fried chicken, providing a delicious and filling meal. Although dishes and breads made from corn were historically seen as a sign of low-income families, they also evoke memories of a time when simple, forgotten dinners held a special place in our hearts. Fried chicken patties. Fried chicken patties were introduced to American schools in the 1980s and quickly became a student favorite. These patties are made from ground chicken mixed with seasonings, then coated in flour and breadcrumbs to create an appealing crispy exterior. The frying process transforms the prepared patties into golden, crispy delights with a juicy interior. They were often served as sandwiches or with sides like French fries, forming a quick and beloved lunch. The preparation method for these patties was well suited to the large volume requirements of school cafeterias. It involved simple steps that could be executed quickly: mixing, shaping, breading, and frying. This efficiency ensured that hot, tasty meals could be served rapidly, reducing waiting times and maximizing student satisfaction during lunch hours. Fried chicken patties are truly a hallmark of classic convenience foods fondly remembered by Generation X. Crown roast of lamb. Crown roast of lamb is an exquisite and magnificent dish, often reserved for special occasions and holiday feasts. This majestic dish not only impresses as a gourmet meal, but also as a festive centerpiece. The preparation involves arranging lamb rib chops in a circle resembling a crown, with the ribs pointing upwards, creating a truly impressive appearance. The lamb is thoroughly seasoned with a mixture of rosemary, garlic, and thyme, both in the marinade and as a dry rub before roasting to enhance flavor and retain moisture. The center of the crown is often stuffed with a savory filling including breadcrumbs, minced garlic, herbs, and sometimes dried fruits like apricots or cranberries, adding richness to the dish. The precision in tying the ribs together ensures even cooking, and chefs often cover the bone ends with foil while roasting to prevent burning, keeping the dish perfect in both form and flavor. This dish emphasizes sophistication and suitability for special occasions, reflecting the appreciation for lavish banquets in the 70s. Tuna noodle casserole. Tuna noodle casserole is a humble yet incredibly satisfying dish that became a staple, budget-friendly meal in American households during the 1970s. This dish combines chewy egg noodles, convenient canned tuna, and creamy cream of mushroom soup, topped with crispy potato chips or breadcrumbs for added texture. Initially, this dish gained popularity during the Great Depression and World War II due to meat rationing, but it remained a familiar weeknight dinner throughout the 1970s. This dish represented the era's reliance on convenient pantry ingredients and one-dish meals that could economically feed a whole family. Many recipe cards from this period show variations with added peas, cheese, or pimentos for extra flavor and color. Although sometimes ridiculed today as a symbol of outdated American cuisine, tuna noodle casserole provided reliable comfort in many families during a decade of economic instability. Over time, this dish is no longer as widely popular due to changing culinary trends, but if you want to revisit this taste of memory, tuna noodle casserole is still a wonderful, nutritious dish that can be cooked anytime. Ham steak with pineapple. Ham steak with pineapple is an iconic mid-20th century American dish, simple, convenient, yet appealing. A slice of ham is pan-fried or baked until golden brown, topped with juicy pineapple rings, and sometimes garnished with a red cherry. The salty taste of the meat combined with the sweet fruit creates an interesting contrast, highly favored in the 1970s, a period when tiki culture boomed and tropical flavors permeated every American kitchen. The dish was often served with baked potatoes or green beans, enough to create a hearty dinner. Ham steak with pineapple offered a touch of luxury that was easy to prepare, yet special enough to impress. Many home cooks also creatively added a brown sugar glaze or a hint of rum, making the exterior shiny, caramelized, and fragrant. Today, consumers are more health conscious. They seek dishes with less fat, less sugar, and less industrial processing. Meanwhile, ham steak with pineapple recalls an era when convenience and artificial sweetness were favored. Ham steak with pineapple has gradually disappeared from the menus of many American families, not necessarily because its flavor is unappealing, but because it no longer fits modern culinary tastes. If you could choose one favorite dish to return, which one would you choose? Comment below. Duck à l'orange? Duck à l'orange is a revered French dish, combining roasted duck breast with a rich, slightly tart orange sauce, carrying a rich history from the 19th century and once favored by French aristocracy. By the 1970s, this dish had become a hallmark of refined home cooking in America, often chosen for elegant dinner parties or special occasions. The duck was typically roasted to achieve a perfectly crispy skin, while the sauce was made from concentrated orange juice, broth, and a touch of Grand Marnier or Cointreau, creating a complex and appealing flavor. The interesting contrast between the rich, savory duck and the fresh, citrusy orange sauce created an unforgettable flavor, reflecting the dish's aristocratic French origins. This dish was a true culinary masterpiece, symbolizing Americans' growing interest in international gourmet cuisine in the 70s. For home cooks in the 1970s, preparing duck à l'orange represented a proud culinary achievement, requiring meticulous planning, technique, and time to execute correctly. Beans on toast. Beans on toast is a dish with deep roots in the cuisine of many countries, especially in the United States, particularly the South, during the 1970s. Serving beans on toast, instead of heartier fare like fries and eggs or pancakes with maple syrup, conveyed subtle yet clear messages about economic circumstances. It implied that flour was scarce, sugar was a luxury not to be wasted, milk was scarce, and that the person probably earned an honest wage, just enough to cover basic needs. Although modern society may have moved past this dish, in those nostalgic times, beans on toast was not just a clear sign of someone's economic status. It was also a proud symbol of working-class resilience, fondly remembered by many workers and Generation X individuals. This was not just a meal, but a story of endurance and overcoming hardship for a generation. Hamburger gravy on bread. Hamburger gravy on bread was another creative solution for an affordable meal, becoming a lifesaver for many during the difficult times of the 1970s. The preparation method for this dish began by browning ground beef in a skillet until cooked, then adding any available vegetables to enhance the flavor. A simple roux, made from flour mixed with beef fat, brought everything together into a warm and hearty gravy. This dish proved to be a big savior, whether for school lunch or for large batch meals to save costs. It provided a filling, nutritious, and economical meal, suiting the needs of families on a tight budget during that decade. Do you remember the comforting feeling of enjoying savory hamburger gravy over soft slices of bread? It was a taste of practicality and gratitude, a testament to the resourcefulness of mothers and homemakers of that era as they tried to feed their families the best they could. Pork neck bones with rice. Pork neck bones with rice was a dish familiar to livestock-raising families long before the rest of the nation discovered their rich broth. In the 1970s, these cuts of meat, unlike the premium options often found in steak restaurants or butcher shops, were once a reliable and popular choice for the working class in America. The trend of consuming less favored, tougher parts of the animal stemmed from financial hardship and a waste not, want not mentality. Pork neck bones were inexpensive, easy to find, and never in short supply. This dish not only provided nutrition, but also created a rich, flavorful broth. Pork neck bones with rice became a classic recipe, emblematic of the resilience of the golden age of forgotten foods. It is a reminder of the days when every part of the animal was utilized to its fullest, showcasing the ingenuity and appreciation for food in American families of that time. Potted meat sandwiches. Potted meat sandwiches were another staple meal that even a child could make, almost as simple as a peanut butter sandwich. Canned food was a wonder in the 1970s, providing a large amount of portable and long-lasting food, especially important given the era's economy and lifestyle. Potted meat, with familiar brands like Libby's or Underwood, was a highly processed, affordable option that, when combined with your favorite sauce and 2 slices of bread, made a hearty meal. In the South, this dish was not only perfect for school lunch, it was also a daily relief for factory and construction workers, offering a quick and convenient meal for busy people. This dish could be enjoyed cold or served with stale bread to ensure nothing went to waste, embodying the practical, no-frills cooking spirit of the era. Potted meat sandwiches were not just a simple meal, they were a national staple in the 1970s, resonating strongly with the nostalgia of Generation X households who grew up with it. Do you think these dishes should make a comeback? If this video has brought back fond memories of your family meals in the 70s, share your story in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so we can continue these wonderful trips down memory lane together.